Hello, my name is Julie and this is KS Mom Crochets, and today's video is a collab that I'm doing with Rebecca over at Yarn and Pajamas, and we are calling it Spin It to Stitch It, which is basically where Rebecca and I chose a book to work out of at the same time, and we let the wheel decide what project that we did out of that book. And so the book that we chose was Mini Kingdom by Meteor Books, and there's the designer's name, which I cannot say. And there are like 36 projects, I think, if I counted right, in this book. And so Rebecca and I chose our top 10, and then we put the top 10 in the spinner and let the spinner decide. And we've already done our project and everything to share all in one video just to make it a little more pressure free, because I'll be honest guys, it took me a little while to finish this because life has just been crazy. But anyway, I will share first what projects that I put into the spinner, and the projects were the Princess in Pink and the Princess in Yellow, and I really loved their hairstyles, so that was one of the reasons why I wanted them in the top 10. I would have picked all 4 of those in my top 10, but I wanted to space it out because you guys know I love dolls. So I also picked the dragon because I thought that he was really cute, and there's a lot of cute animals as you can see in this book, and I wanted at least one in my top 10. I also picked the Joker, which I want to call the Jester because, you know, that's what it looks like. And then I also picked the Chef, which is kind of different for me. I've never made a boy with a mustache like that, or a man with a mustache, so I thought that he would be a lot of fun to make, and I just think he's super cute. And then the next one I chose was another girl, which is kind of a lot of the ones that I chose, but I chose the Shepherdess because I thought that she was super cute in her hat. And then I chose these 2 women right here, which is the fairy up here, and then also the milk lady. The fairy, I loved her hat as well. I used to, or when I was little, I made a hat like that out of construction paper, and I remember wearing it. And also I really loved the little bonnet. She reminds me of like a pioneer woman, so I thought she was super cute. And then I also picked the wizard. I thought that it would be fun to try to do his beard needle felting like I do for my gnomes. I don't think I've ever done that for a doll, so I think that would be fun to try. And then the last one was the robber here, which, you know, obviously is based on Robin Hood, I would think, but he's really, really cute. And so that was my top 10 that I put into the spinner. And now I will pop up the spinner so that you can see what project I actually made for this video. And as you can see, it was the Princess in Pink, and I really enjoyed making this project. She was a lot of fun. I think she turned out super cute. I will have to say that I wasn't very happy with her until I added all of her bling, and then I think that that really made this project come together for me. I love the way her hair is made. That's one thing about that book that I don't really like, is that you get the big pictures that I was showing you a second ago, but the step-by-step pictures, or like the back of them and the side, are like thumbnail pictures. They're smaller, so it was kind of hard for me to share that on camera. But as you can see, I did make her hair the way that it was made in the book. So I really love the way that it turned out. There's quite a few curls here. It wasn't too awful bad. It was a little tedious. I love the detail work that goes around the front of her face for her hairline. I thought that that turned out. These are actually shell stitches. I'm not sure if you can see that because the yellow might blow out a little bit. And then you take that pink and you tack those shell stitches down to where they stay up. I kind of wish that it didn't have this ridge right here all the way around. I feel like that takes away from the hair. So if I ever made this project again, I think that I would eliminate that row somehow. So I'll tell you what I used really quickly. I used a 3mm hook, and I used all DK acrylic yarn and all different kinds of brands. I used Hayfield Bonus DK in Pretty Pink. I also used a yarn called Knit and Pearl in this gray and the yellow here, which was like a yarn pack that I got from Mary Maxim a few years ago. And then for her skin tone, I used Yarnsmith's Create DK in the color Blush, which is a yarn that I had never used until this project. So that was a lot of fun, and I really, really enjoyed using that yarn. And I do think that it turned out really good as a skin tone too. And then these gems and little flowers and stuff were just things that I had bought previously for stuff just like this, and it came in handy. So I did change the eye placement because I felt like her eyes in the pattern was a little bit low for my preference. And so I did put them between row 12 and 13. And then I also put them like 10 stitches apart. I'm not sure if that was different. I'm thinking that she had them farther apart in the pattern, but I could be wrong. I did mess up on the arms. In the pattern, the hand and the arm was supposed to be skin colored, and then the very top of it was supposed to be pink, and I miscalculated and she ended up having long sleeves, but it worked out fine. I did add a couple rows, I think 1 or 2 rows of the pink there to make her arm a little longer. I felt like her arm was a little short. I also did not change colors for the skirt, which I kind of regret. I wish that I had done that. It would have gave her a little bit more something because I felt like her dress was really plain, and that is why I added that flower. And also I also gave her eyelashes, or I attempted to, because her face just looked plain to me. But I do love the way that those gems look on her crown. I think that turned out really cute. In this pattern, the body and the head are actually one piece, even though they're separate. So you have a master head pattern, and I'm not sure, I'm thinking that it's for all the people at least. But you make the whole entire head, but you leave front loops, and then you attach the front loops to make the body. And honestly, I prefer making bodies from the bottom up, especially when they don't have legs like this, because I prefer to put like cardboard or something in the bottom so that they'll stand up, and she does not stand up because she's very top heavy. So if I ever did make this again, I would try that different, like just to work the pattern backwards and add the head on that way. I really liked the way that this hair was made. I thought that it was very interesting the way that she did it. You left front loops on a couple rows and attached your hair, and then it made it easy to attach the separate bun for the top of her hair. And then, let's see. For the collar, she wanted you to do that separate, and I didn't. I just did it as I read ahead, and I did it as I was crocheting, and that worked out a lot better than having to sew that strip on. But I really love the way that she turned out. I think that her hair was a little tedious with the curls and stuff, but I think that it turned out super cute. I really, really am happy with how she turned out, and I hope you all enjoy seeing her too. Just want to say thank you so much to Rebecca for inviting me on to this collab. I really enjoyed making my project and crocheting with you. It was so much fun. And in case you all don't remember, maybe you do if you've been with me for a long time, but Rebecca was actually the first person that I've ever did a collab with. And so the best part about this is that she was so patient with me, even though it took me like a month. Took me like a month to make this. Life has been a little crazy. Hopefully things will calm down I don't know if they will, honestly, but hopefully things will get easier for me, or I can find some sort of balance between work and crochet and all that stuff, so that I can come back with videos. But don't forget to go and check out Rebecca and see what that she made. We did share progress, like progress pictures with each other a little bit, so that we knew kind of what was going on with each other, which was so much fun. But I haven't seen her actual finished project yet, so I can't wait to go and check out and see what she made. So yeah, that's all that I have for you all. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me, and yeah, so until next time, guys, I will see you in another video. Bye.